your business will profit. I need super claps in the chat for super Shelly Shell Williams. What is going on, Shelly?
Hey, what's going on? I'm so excited to be here, and I'm also nervous, so that's a different thing.
You should not be nervous. You were the voice of Philly, for
I
like a
know.
decade and a half, like 2 decades, right? So
You would think, but for some reason, I don't know. This is different. I'm used to people around me, and I don't know. This is different, but I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
he said lazy super equals S. All right. So I'm gonna jump out of your way. You're on the clock for 30 minutes, Shelly.
All
I'm
right,
going to
all
bring
right.
up your screen here. It's up, so all you have to do is just switch over to your PowerPoint, and you should be good.
Okay, everybody. I am so excited to be here. As I said, he said I am Shelly Shell Williams, Philly's Oprah. And not because I think I'm Oprah, but because people refer to me as Philly's Oprah because I've been doing television for well over 15-ish years, not to get my age out, but well over 15-ish years I've been doing television in Philadelphia. And I'm fairly new to podcasting, but I'm well versed in monetizing a media platform. So I'm here to show up on purpose, so our podcast can be monetized. So thank you. I am a full-time entrepreneur, and it's been a journey being a full-time entrepreneur. So as a full-time entrepreneur, you have to find ways and discover ways, or show up on purpose so your business will profit, right? So how do you monetize your podcast? Oh, that's been the golden question all day. And I've seen and heard everyone. And I'm like, I'm sitting here taking copious notes thinking, how can I be a part of this? And but I am, like I said, I'm more of the advertising. I know a lot of people weren't fond of the whole advertising thing, but that has been my background, advertising. I get advertisers, I get commercials for TV. So that's where we start. So let's start off with purpose. What is the definition of purpose? When you do something with purpose, you do it with determination. When your activities have purpose, you have an aim or intention in mind. So I'm going to start out, what is your purpose? Be intentional about aiming your activities. That means I'm going to be intentional. No, I'm not all about money, but I have to be intentional about what I'm doing to make sure I'm doing something that will yield money, that will make a profit. And here are some of the following ways I have that I come up with to start out. So my number one purpose, determine how your podcast will generate money. All right. We've so many people have talked about this. They've been speaking about this. Your brief list of monetization ideas. We talked about donations and crowdfunding, and it's important that I do a list because you know how we talk about 7 streams of income, and when you talk about monetizing your podcast or whatever media platform, you need to have a list. You need to know exactly what ways you can monetize, and to have it in front of you as a list. It says, okay, here's my streams of income. Here's the way I can make income. So it talked about donations and crowdfunding, reaching out to your loyal listeners and everybody who is supporting you and just saying, hey, donate to this cause, or whether it's crowdfunding, but you have an audience out there. Use the audience for that purpose. The next thing, they've already talked about it, but it's on my list, so I'm going to talk about it too. So merchandising, of course, merchandising, t-shirts and things like that. Case in point, the t-shirt. I wear my t-shirts, I wear my brands. So that's merchandising. And offer membership. I love membership sites. Just like Indie Podcon, listens to membership sites, so we understand it does make money. It is beneficial. And of course, coaching, courses, and speaking, which most of us are doing. We're coaching, we have courses, we're speaking, and that all makes money in its own thing. But something for me that's like one of my favorites on the top of my list is event hosting or event promoter. So I love hosting. I know I said I'm nervous. I'm nervous here. I don't know why, because it's the computer thing. I don't know, but I'm nervous. But I love hosting. And event hosting is when a promoter says, hey, you're pretty popular. Come on in, host my event, make my event happy. You're happy, make my event happy. So they come in, you come in and say, hey, I'm Shelly Shell, here to make you happy, and you're on stage, but they have paid you to do that. So that's another way you can monetize. So, hey, you built this platform, you became popular. Somebody says, I have this event, I want you to host it. Boom, there's another way you can make money. Another way, of course, is event promoter, where you're promoting the event, just like now. This is an event, it needed to be promoted. And if it's your event, you can make money by several different ways. You can have vendors, have an entrance fee, have sponsorships, and also sell your merchandise. So there's so many ways you can make money with event hosting and being an event promoter. So that's my great way. I love that. But the next big one is advertising, sponsorship, influencer marketing. Is advertising dead? No, my friend, it is not. I love advertising. Like I said, it's kind of like a love-hate thing. When you think about advertising, you think about, wow, this takes a lot of work. How do I get people to do this? So yes, it does take a lot of work, but advertising, if that's your way of going, advertisers is good. Of course, you're going to research and make sure you don't have, non-moral advertisers, but this is what I do. So advertising, think about it. Advertising isn't dead. We see advertising everywhere. When you turn on the television, there's ads. When you're on the social media, ads pop up all day long. Everywhere you go, there's an ad. But the difference with us is we have a unique spin on it. We can spin it the way we want it. We can spin it in the way our audience will like it. We can spin it in a way that we're actually asking our advertisers to give out points, be a part of the whole podcast community, be a part of your thing in a not so salesy way. So that's how advertising works for me. So that's one thing. And the purpose number two, my purpose number two is, what activity and or content can I create or you create that is aimed to make money, profit, or attract money, people, and clients? So you have to be intentional in what you're doing. What activity can I do? I have to be creative, making the advertising part of the show. As I said, coming up with these crazy, catchy, funky names that say, listen, here comes the do-it-yourself, we in the know spotlight. And today our spotlight is ABC Insurance Company. And then ABC Insurance Company is going to tell us how to make sure, if you're having an event, to get event insurance. Now, this is just all made up, but this is just the way you would go on air and maybe talk about how to include it. So, hey, today's guest in our local spotlight is ABC Insurance Company. And I have a friend, and this is why I'm bringing it up. I have a friend who had an event and someone tripped and found out they were liable for, what are they liable for? They're liable for the accident. And I thought, wow, it would be great to find out how you can get event insurance. So today I'm bringing on ABC Insurance Company. Aren't you? So ABC Insurance Company, welcome. He says, welcome. Yes, I am so excited. I tell people all the time they need insurance, but that's how you're including it. It's just a regular conversation. Yes, they're an advertiser. Yes, they paid you, but it also gives value because you're putting it right inside of your message and you're saying, ABC Insurance Company, teach my audience the importance of insurance, event insurance, whatever insurance, but this is just a made up. I don't know who ABC Insurance Company is, but I bet you there's going to be one soon, right? But that's what we do. That's what I do to keep it creative. And I like to tell stories. So I have to give an example of this type of thing. One of my biggest advertising deals was $18,000. I was like, whoa, I made it. I'm good. I really do have a knack for this. Somebody's paying me or my company $18,000, but they didn't just pay me $18,000 for airtime. They paid me $18,000 for a whole package. So I included them in everything I'm telling you. So I did, they had airtime. The second thing was the creative inclusion, meaning I went to their business and did a little segment. Hey, we're here, live action, nothing long, nothing too big, nothing over the top. but it gives another spin, another creative spin. So they got that. And I did an event, and they were actually the sponsor of the live event. So that means they're getting into the community. So whatever way it took to get them the most maximum for their money, right? Because we don't just want to take people's money. We want, of course, we need the money. And unless you have a money tree outside that you can just grab from the money tree, which I don't, that's not my story. My money tree is not outside. So I want to make money, but I also want to do it in a morally standard way. I want to make sure that when someone advertises with me, they get a benefit. They get customers, they get clients, they get whatever they need, and I've maximized the way I allow them to show up. So they're showing up with a purpose so they can get so they can get customers. And I'm showing up to make sure they get the best of it. So to make sure the advertising works for them. So that worked out really well. And to this day, they are still my clients. I still work with them. That was a few years ago. Like I said, I don't date myself. But when you put your package together, make sure it's an all-inclusive package, not just one thing, this thing, not just airtime, but all-inclusive, but with the person in mind. I like to be genuine in what I do. So genuinely, I don't just want your money. Genuinely, I want you to work too. I want it to work for you. So number 3, purpose. Why am I showing up to make a profit? Purpose number 3 is, boom, where's my number 3? There it is. Who do I know, or who am I connected to that will benefit from advertising or sponsoring my podcast? Woo, who do we know? We talk about 6 degrees of separation, right? To be honest, there's so many rules to this, and everybody has their way, but sometimes with even all the rules, there's somebody there's somebody in your area, general area, that knows somebody that might want to advertise on your podcast. So think about it. Think about who they are. Think about what they are. And this is me. I like I said, I'm a beginner podcaster. I'm a beginner, but I am, like I said, I've done TV, radio for so long, but I'm a beginner podcaster. So I'm talking to the ones who may not have a proven track record of 100 million downloads and 100 million views. And you have, modest views and modest downloads. So how can you get money? How can you monetize if your audience is modest? Meaning we're not up there with the thousands and the millions yet, right? So how do you do that? So as a beginner podcast, I've already made money even as a beginner podcast because I leveraged some of my relationships. I leveraged some of the people I know. I dug all up into my relationship bag to see who I know. So with my podcast, like I said, I've already made money. I made money off of a course. I made money off of an upsell to a client. And I'm also making money on many different things. So it's a win-win situation. So when you think about it, you're leveraging the people. So I connected to some people who knew some people, and they wanted to work with me based off of, not because I have millions of views as a podcaster, but based off of the fact that you've done TV, you got to know something. So they kind of trust me a little bit. You've been on TV for well over 15 years. You got to know a little something. So they trust me. So I dig into my whole relationship bag and I see what's going on. And then I start with this. So my suggestion for beginner podcasters, if you don't know a lot of people that may want to spend money, they want to see, show me what you got. Show me what you have so I can see it. So I started out with bartering. I love bartering, right? When it comes to bartering, what is bartering? Barter is an exchange of goods or services for other goods or services without using money. I kind of like the way that sounds. I like to call myself the queen of bartering. I like the barter. So if you want to show people what kind of response they'll get, but they may not want to spend money. So we exchange what we have for, which is airtime, which is listeners. This is what we have for what they have. So when it comes to bartering, we're exchanging. Does bartering still exist? It does exist, and it exists in a major way. Today, it's making a comeback because people understand the importance of bartering and what they can get. How do you barter for goods and services with a podcast? This is my way. Use your rate sheet. I'm sure most of us have a rate sheet, and if you don't, I know someone here can get you a sample rate sheet. I can get you one. If you can contact me and I'll get you a rate sheet. But your rate sheet says, here's my airtime. Here's what it costs to be sponsor one of my shows, and this is what your value of your airtime is. Suppose it's $100. My 1 minute commercial on my podcast is $100, and that's what I'm saying that it's worth. So that's how you understand how not to have unequal bartering, meaning it has to be worth it, and you have to avoid unequal bartering. One way to diminish inequities is to engage in dollar for dollar trade. You know, we're going to dollar for dollar. This is worth this, and this is worth this. So we got to make sure we do that and make sure we know what it is and how we're doing it. Oh, I think I just went along. So bartering is one of the things, but there's ways you can barter. There's things you can barter with. Here are some of the things you can barter with. This is one of the things I do, and I do it well. T-shirts and merchandise. There may be ABC T-shirt company like Family Printing. I say, listen, you want advertising so people will know to come to you for T-shirts or printed material, then I'll give you this amount of airtime. Well, there's $100, and you give me the amount of $100 T-shirts. So if they're $5 T-shirts, they'll give you 20 shirts for your $100 airtime. That's how that dollar for dollar will work. There's other things you can barter for, like wardrobe. I have needed wardrobe. I needed an outfit. I know we like to shop, but I needed an outfit and I wanted to show up really well. So I've contacted clothing companies, and I've contacted boutiques and say, listen, if you give me an outfit, I'll mention you on my television show, or I'll mention you on my podcast. I'll mention you in exchange for the clothing. And then when I wear it in public, I'll say, this is brought to you by ABC Clothing Company. And that's what I'm actually, when I'm talking to a potential sponsor, I am really talking like that. I'm going to give you the whole commercial. Listen, I will wear this in pride and tell them this is the best garment I've ever had, and you should get it too. So that's what I'm going to do for that one. And another way is hairstylist. I barter with my hairstylist. So in exchange for airtime, I get my hair styled, you know. So that's been a over 20-year, 20-ish, although I'm 21-ish. I am 21-ish. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. But this has been over a 20-year thing that I've been doing, and as well as restaurants. And when it comes to restaurants, your audience can benefit with this too. You can ask the restaurant for gift certificates. How about I have 4 $25 gift certificates in exchange for $100 worth of advertising time on my podcast? And I can also leverage this by saying it on social media. I can also give you a post on social media for what you give me. So there's other ways you say, maybe my podcast doesn't have as many downloads, but leverage your social media to go with it. Make sure they know my numbers are here, but my social media is this, you know. So whichever one has the biggest numbers, that's what you're using. You can also do printed material, banners, coaching services, whatever it is. Bartering is a wonderful thing to get your word out there and to actually have give them a proven track record. We all want to have a proven track record. So recap, why are we bartering? To have a proven track record for advertisers to show that the results work. And then we're going to take it to the paid advertiser and say, this worked. This is what I did, and this is what it is. So if you advertise with me, this is the results it's not always, it's not 100%, but this is the results you could possibly get because we've done it. We've tried it. It's tried and we did it. So make sure you dig in your relationship bag, discover who you know and how you can make it mutually beneficial, right? That's what we're doing as far as bartering. And now let's get into my favorite. My favorite part is obtaining sponsors, right? How do we get sponsors? How do we get advertisers? Now, people always talk about advertisers, but do you actually know how to do it? We know we want advertisers, or if that's the way your podcast operates, we know we want someone to take interest and pay us to come and use our airtime or be a part of our airtime, but do we know how to do it, right? So here's some of my 3 major keys to obtaining advertisers, right? Know your brand, whether it's local versus global, understanding and who's listening and their geolocation. Are they local? Are they global? Because if you're going to someone local and you're in the St. Louis area and you're saying, I'm in St. Louis and I have about 5,000 people listening in the St. Louis area, because you looked at your analytics, whether it's through your podcast analytics, your website analytics, your social media analytics, whatever those analytics are, you understand I have 5,000 people listening in this area. Now, if you find out you have 5,000 listening in the St. Louis area, and then you have 5 million in the global area, all national, that means you can go after some national sponsors that could benefit from a worldwide listenership. So that's another way we can. So you have to know your brand. You have to know who you're selling to and how you can sell to them, right? As I mentioned, I produced a popular music video show. It was a hip hop R&B video show. So knowing that that's my market, what I did was I knew that barbershops, salons, music studios could benefit from advertising on a music video show. It's music related. It goes together. People in the videos are pretty, so they want to get their hair pretty. So where do they go? They go to a salon. So it made sense. So when I first started going out there, I understood that these particular sponsors want to have a locally focused campaign, thus creating a win-win situation. So that was my introduction into literally advertising. I started out with the salons and barbershops, which actually helped me a lot. So that definitely helped me a lot. And then the next thing is, I don't know if my time is going down. I forgot to look at the time. The next thing is prospecting. This is a good one. Prospecting, identifying who your audience is, identifying who your AKA your prospects may be. Your target audience has to be narrowed. It can't be everybody. It has to be broken down to age, gender, and interest. The goal of prospecting is to develop a database of likely customers, likely people that may want to possibly advertise on your podcast, on your platform. People, I always start with the list. Am I done?
No, you're not. You're not done. Sorry, my internet went out here at the
house.
You
missed me for a minute? Is that what it is? Did you miss me?
I'm with you. I'm with you at the moment, but I was trying to not have my thing up. I'm using the mobile version, which just came out actually. So, kind of saved me because I didn't know if you were done. All right, I figured out how to remove myself.
So should I keep going? Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm not sure what's happening right now. So we're on prospecting and identifying people that could possibly be the people that will advertise with you. When it comes to prospecting, like I said, you have to narrow it down into people. So I start with a list like, who have I been patronizing? Am I good? I don't know. Who have I been patronizing, and what businesses do I go to? So I start with that list. I put a list of those people, right? That's my first list. And the second way I go find people is the newspaper. It's crazy, right? People still advertise in the newspaper, believe it or not. Crack open the newspaper and you see a bunch of advertisements in the newspaper. And when you see advertisements in the newspaper, you know that they have an advertising budget. That means they're spending money, and it's not a far-fetched foreign idea to them because they're already trying to reach people. And you see what section they're in. Suppose you have a business show and you look who's advertising in the business section. So you're like, wow, I see this one that could possibly fit my target audience. And then you put them on your list. So crack open a newspaper because people still do read newspapers. And I happen to write for a few newspapers. So yes, we love newspapers. So then go to television and radio. When you're watching television, there's a bunch of advertising, bunch. Advertising is always up. You know, we always see advertising. So when you see advertisers, sometimes they're local commercials because the local cable company has, of course, sold advertising to the local green lawn person, landscaping company. So here's ABC Landscaping Company, and they're local, they're in your area, that may fit into your clients, may want some landscaping, whatever that is. But write down a list of the kind of the commercials you see on the television and the radio. And why? Because the people who are advertising on television and radio are clear. They have an advertising budget, and you want to just be included in a part of their advertising budget, if possible. Of course, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like the golden egg. Of course, LinkedIn. Anybody is on LinkedIn, doing their thing. All the CEOs, CFOs, COOs, anybody is on LinkedIn. So you can go there. Social media, networking events. I found great success in networking events. People who are trying to get their message out there, things like that. And there's so many more. So that's how I prospect. And then after you prospect, you have to research. Now, this is, I know a couple of people spoke about not wanting to, I guess I would say it in this way, pimp out their airtime. So if you don't want to put anybody in your airtime, once you research, you want to research the companies, see what they're about, see what their target audience, see what they stand for. So you research them and make sure they fit in line with what you want. So you have your list. You prospected, you have your list. Now you want to research them. You want to see if they really fit in line with your objectives and if they match. You don't want to just put anybody on your air. You really want to make sure they match. You want to check out their history, check out the people they deal with, see who they're currently involved with. It just helps so that you're not pimping out your airtime. So let me talk about prospecting. One night I was online. And this is crazy. I was online in the middle of the night and I'm prospecting. I'm looking, and I found the location. I found the location online, and in the middle of the night, I send a nice, beautiful email introducing myself, blah, blah, blah. And of course, it's middle of the night, I go to sleep, I wake up. By mid-afternoon, literally by mid-afternoon, I get a response with interest. They are interested and want to set up a meeting. I go in for the meeting. And after I done my research, after I found out whether it's a good fit, I did my research, I go into the meeting, and they sponsored a bunch of shows. They sponsored, until this day, 100%, they are still my clients. I still work with them. And that's the power of making sure we have a mutually beneficial relationship. Meaning, I didn't just say get on the air and get on and you're not going to get results. If they see results, they'll come back. If they see that it's beneficial, they'll come back. If they see that you're a good person and you're a person of your word, like I've heard, being consistent. If you're consistent, you're professional, you do things in a decent way, people will come back. So to this day, they are still 100% my clients, and I'm thankful for that. I know this is a lot of information, like you're hearing a lot of information today. And once again, like I said, I'm a novice at podcasting, but I am definitely, advertising is my thing. And like I said, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. And as a full-time entrepreneur, my bread and butter is social media management, social media marketing. So that's what I do to actually, as a bread and butter type of thing. I don't know if my time is up, but that's all I have. If you want to contact me, if you, I don't have any landing pages set up at the moment, but I do have a upcoming course called Money Making Media Strategies that's coming soon. It's all laid out. It's not just me. It's a team of people who want to teach advertising, because a lot of people, they have podcasts and it's a hobby to them. But then they find out that it does take some money and they want to turn it into a business. They want to make sure it is a business. So the way it's a business is you learn how to do some of these things. And to me, advertising is one of them. Advertising to me is one of the things. I do all the other stuff. I do the coaching. I do everything that's on the list, but I also add the whole advertising thing to my thing. So Money Making Media Strategies is coming up soon. If you want to join my list and to get more of that information, you can text 22828. You can text word on the street to 22828. Text word on the street to 22828. And you can follow me on my Instagram at Shelly Shell Williams. And of course, my website is ShellyShellWilliams.com. Everything is Shelly Shell Williams. And when we talk about show up on purpose, this will be my last point. When we talk about showing up on purpose, you want to wonder why, what's in a name. When I think of Shelly Shell Williams, that was what I used on the television show. It was pretty popular. And then when I was moving into different areas of life and I was going into next phases, I would Google Shelly Williams. And it's lost in the sea of people named Shelly Williams. But when I put in Shelly Shell Williams, the person that came up was who? Me, Shelly Shell Williams. So that's the purpose of the name. When we show up, we have to make sure we're showing out all the way that people can find us. We're Googleable. And I am Googleable. When you Google Shelly Shell Williams, I will come up. Not in the sea of other Shelly Shell Williams, or not in the sea of Shelly Williams, which is really common. I'll come up in the whole Shelly Shell Williams category, and that is my purpose, and that's why I did it. So I am done for today, and I am appreciative of this opportunity. I need to escape my. See, I'm also new to the whole slide thing too. Look, I'm new to this. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Am I here? I'm back. Woohoo! Look, I'm back. I didn't know what I'm doing. I'm new. That whole slide thing was all new. Did I do okay? Am I right?
Yeah, great. Can I need some super claps to the chat for Super Shelly Shell Williams. That was awesome. It's why you bring to mind you know who Big Daddy Graham is, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So his daughter is on the morning show here in Philadelphia on WIP, and it's so funny when when she talks about her dad. She's like, well, my dad isn't proud of me because I get married. He'd only be proud of me if I got the whole wedding for free because I, was talking about their companies on the radio. Like we're at, I'm being delivered at the hospital by my mom, and my dad is sitting there like talking on the phone and like, plugging the hospital and stuff on the,
Exactly.
Gotta get that free. I want that free, baby delivery service. I want that car delivered. I want, all these things. He is a master of it, and we are fortunate to have him in the Philly area. But yeah, no, it goes without saying if you aren't familiar, because as podcasters we come from many different backgrounds, right? Like we're not all like tech people, we're not all this or that. Like we're all leaders, but we're not that, right? We're not like cut from the same like cloth per se. So it's in a sense you have to think about like things like, hey, if I can get somebody to say, hey, yeah, I'll give you that free haircut if you give me airtime. If I'll give you this, if you give me airtime, yeah, it's not money. I can't eat that thing necessarily, but it still helps pay. It helps cover some of the cost. If you take that money that you would be paying for your haircut, if you take that money you would be paying for the dress or the shoes or whatever, and you put that like, okay, great, like I put that towards paying for the show and stuff like that. So.
And it looks good. It just like, even when you do it, it looks good. It gives you that track record. It shows that people take a chance on you, whether because to them it's money. If they charge $200 for hair, a style, then to them that equals money. So they want to see it. So I've been like, I call myself the queen of bartering because, man, when the salons open up, I'm right there.
Yeah. My looks like my comments have frozen at the moment, so I'm gonna have to refresh after I introduce the next speaker. But just to read some of the comments, thank you. Stephen Green says, "Thank you, big time content and value." Shelly Shell Williams, thank you so much. Cheryl, what's up, Cheryl? Says amazing. You got thumbs up. We got super claps and awesomes in the chat. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. It wasn't StreamYard's fault. My internet got knocked out because of. Something going on here in the house and in the on the other side of the house and yeah, so I had to jump in with my phone and I didn't realize that I was like sharing my face like that. So things happen, it's live, we do it anyway, and we keep it moving.
I was good. As long as I wasn't being cut off, I was like, oh my gosh, am I horrible? He's cutting me off. Oh no.
Nope. You are not cut. You're not being cut off at all. I apologize for interrupting your
It's
talk.
fine. It's fine.
Totally was unexpected. So All right, Super Shelly Shell, thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. We will definitely be in touch going forward. And thank you to Ambition, who's an icon in our community, for introducing you to our awesome peoples and community.
Thank you for having me, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much. I need more super claps in the chat for Super Shelly Shell